what the fuck?
How have we fallen this far down? Katy Perry used to be someone that I would, enjoy going listen to new material to because she had bangers back in the day. She was a lot of fun. But recently, with this 3-album run, I've kind of been like, yeah, I don't know where she went wrong here. Like, you'd figure now that she's older, she's got a kid, she's married, that maybe there'd be some maturity here, but on this new album, 143, this is probably the least mature thing she has made as a woman in her mid-30s. It's 11 tracks, 33 minutes long, but yet it feels so much longer than it should be because these songs just, I don't know what it is about them, but they play longer than they are. There were a couple of songs on here that I found to just be okay, I guess, or at least just enough on the verge of okay for me to go, they're not terrible. Gorgeous is fine, but the feature, Kim Petras, definitely saves the track a little bit. Then we have All the Love, and that one kind of reminds me a lot of, like, Katy Perry, kind of ballady type, or at least not ballady, but when I think of Katy Perry empowering songs, that's what I think of, and it was probably the best song on the album. And then Artificial, which features Jid, who again carries this track. That's the only reason it's even up here, because Jid has had an interesting year where he featured on an Eminem track in Fuel on the Death of Slim Shady, which is seen as probably the best song on that album, and he was excellent. But then he featured on that whole genre sad boy thing with Trippie Redd and MGK on that one song, and he was awful. So when I saw that he was featured on this song, I kind of went, great, prepare to be disappointed, but I wasn't. He was solid on here, and I would definitely say that if it wasn't for his feature on this song, it would probably be down in my least favorite, which leaves the other 8 songs on this record. Woman's World was the lead-off single to this thing. It also kicked the album off. And look, I'm all for empowering women songs and all this, but this just isn't it. It really, it's not. Like, it's Katy Perry trying to pander, but pander to the wrong kind of audience in a way. Like, I know this is going to be played at, like women's rights stuff and all that, so obviously she got the demographic down, but if that's what this was made for, it doesn't seem genuine. It just seems like you did it because, oh yeah, if I can make the next women empowering anthem, then this'll work. But the thing was, this single tanked so badly, it was on the charts for a little bit and then fell off, that you had to quickly release another single. So how long is this single gonna stick around for? I have no idea. Then we go from that to Gimme Gimme, which features 21 Savage, and I've never been a 21 Savage fan myself. He's just so boring, and it just seems like he chugs a bunch of cough syrup before he goes and records because he's not interesting, and it doesn't seem like he wants to be there at all, whether he's, rapping one of his own songs, or in this case, featuring on another song. Then we have I'm His, He's Mine, which is basically just an ode to her husband, I guess, in a way, but kind of gives off like a crazy significant other vibe, a little bit of jealousy mixed in, which I get it. There's that part of a relationship where you're with somebody, and sometimes you get jealous when somebody else is, a little flirty with them or whatever, but at the same point in time, also when it's giving off psycho wife vibes, that's a little red flaggy. And then the other tracks that finish it off, Crush, Lifetimes, Nirvana, Truth and Wonder, are all just these bland tracks that, again, try to serve as some sort of empowering anthem or a it's okay, you'll be fine kind of anthem, and they just kind of are bland and boring and add nothing to an album that was already doomed from the start. So if I had to guess, this album might be the end of Katy Perry, or at least people giving a shit about Katy Perry, because I do remember her having a hit or two on her last record, and even the one that had like Bon Appetit and all those other stupid songs on it, the singles charted fairly well, but the album didn't do good. And it was the same thing with her last album. She had a couple singles that did okay, but then the album came out and it didn't chart well. This thing might chart well for about a week, but I wouldn't be surprised if it died off quick, because the curiosity is going to get to people. Like, they're going to want to check this thing out, but once they listen to it and go, oh, there's really nothing here for me to come back to, then this thing will die off quickly and will probably be on a Train Records later down the line. This album gets a 2 out of 10. No more, no less. Again, there was a couple of the tracks that were okay enough for me to rank it that high, because without those tracks, this thing probably would have been a 0. But for the most part, it has some redeeming qualities in some songs, but it's just, it's not good at all. It has no redeeming qualities, and all the songs have this same generic pop beat that add nothing to it, and frankly make it boring. So that's my take on this album. You can tell me in the comments below, what do you think? But until then, stay safe out there, and I will catch you all in the next one.